if you want, I read the next question.
The next question is...
I read it. I read it for you.
Okay.
Okay. As humans, we must have sexual relationships in order to reproduce the species. There are a lot of confusion regarding sexual activities. As we know, we have been manipulated by religions and different ways of thinking related to this matter. There is something called Tantra, also known as sacred sex, that states that sexual activities cannot be seen as a sinful practice. Did the Andromedanos tell you something related to sex in terms that it is incorrect to have sex with someone without the purpose of procreate human being and just do it for pleasure? What is your opinion on this?
Well, I can only share their perspective,
okay,
based on their culture. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're incredibly beautiful people, beautiful beings. But from their perspective, they do not have sex for pleasure. They only do it to procreate.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't that they go and they have to get permission. It is just something that has been bred into their culture, or they as a culture have decided to do. And that is that when it's time to procreate and they want to create another life, that they do this. They do not do it for pleasure like we do.
Okay.
I know that there are other cultures, spacefaring cultures, that enjoy it for pleasure as well as procreation.
Uh-huh.
So it's not a sin. It's not evil. There really isn't a judgment, or there really shouldn't be a judgment to it, I believe, at all. It's a personal choice, I would think. But some cultures do it, and there's no stigma to it whatsoever. And then there's other cultures that have chosen not to do it, like the A's. And I don't know that it's judged or there's any stigma attached to their choices either.
Sure.
It's simply a choice.
Okay. That's good. I think that's good. Well, the next question will be, there is a hope legend that talks about a blue star appearing just a little time before at the end of the times. Did the Andromedanos tell you something about this?
No. They've never really discussed the blue kachina with me specifically, nor have I actually asked that question. But I do want to, you put here before the end of times. I do want to stress something here. And, 2012 is not the end of the world.
Okay, yeah.
It just isn't. I mean, essentially, what's going to be happening is that we are going to be passing the galactic plane, where there is a very hard and a very difficult gravitational field.
Okay.
That is not to say there won't be Earth changes. That is not to say that between now and, say, 2015, 2017, we could not experience a pole shift, a physical rotation of the Earth, 17 to 21 degrees, that will change all of the shorelines around the world, and many will perish. But it is not the end of the world.
Yeah, and I
have survived other pole shifts. Okay?
Yes, that's good.
So, the world isn't going to end. I just, that needs to be clarified.
Yeah, I put that question in that way because it's almost a lot of people that it's on this kind of themes refers to the end of times in this way. I mean, I actually know that there is no end of the world at all. I just put that question in that way just to perhaps my I know how do I say this? Perhaps the word wasn't correct at all, but I understand what are you talking, and I actually share the same opinion about that. Okay, well, the next question will be.
Hold on. Let me just address something else with that, if I may.
Okay, sure.
you know, if humanity decided to do something different, and it isn't that we'd all have to agree on exactly what happens, but if we decided we wanted something different, we didn't want a pole shift, we wanted something else to happen, you know, we have the ability to make miracles happen.
Yes.
Because it is we who are creating our reality. And if, you know, 3 or more of us gather together with a focused intent, we can literally make that intent become a physicality, a reality.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this is something that humanity needs to stay focused on. You know, like the creation of the United States. The creation of the United States was the result of so many people in Europe being so sick and tired of being slaves, of living under an oligarchy, of being slaves to the bankers. That's why America was created.
Yeah.
And many other countries were formed essentially with the intent of that original model, of being done with the Spaniards, being done with the French,
Mm-hmm.
being done with the English, okay, of being treated in that specific way.
Yeah.
You know, that is the power of consciousness when it's in motion, you know. And as far as our future, it's not written yet. We can create that. But what's happening is that we are allowing the press, the media, the governments to dictate to us what they think it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got it all wrong. You know, their whole purpose, their whole intention is not for the benefit of humanity per se. I mean, some might be benevolent, but I mean, here in the United States, you cannot tell me that Wall Street is in the Federal Reserve and FEMA and many of the other agencies, their sole intent is for the benefit of all of humanity. It's not. It is to maintain control and power over everyone. And their models that they've established and created no longer work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But they are not spiritually evolved enough to say, you know what, this no longer works. We need to let it go. They're not in that space, you know. And that's where the conflict is going to be when humanity begins to push back and say, we're done. This does not work for us any longer, and your needs are not more important than ours.
Exactly, yes.
And that's where the conflict's going to come, and that's always where the conflict comes. Mm-hmm. But it's a huge leap in consciousness and in self-responsibility for humanity when we reach those places.
Sure.
You know, and we're coming to that place again very, very soon.
Ooh, and
okay.
Yeah. And I think that it's going to be a worldwide event.
It has to be, yes.
Yeah.
In order to be real and lasting, it has to be a global.
Yeah. Actually, I think about something that a lot of conspiracy theorists know as New World Order. And here I really want your opinion regarding this, because some people like Alex Jones he's putting information on the internet in a way that I think that he's just making people become more crazy than they were. I mean, Alex Jones and other people talking about New World Order, they are showing a scheme very, very ugly to us. And they say that New World Order will come in the next few years if we don't do anything. Actually, I agree in some point to that statement, but not at all, because I think that, and this is something that I really want to know, does the New World Order is right now being